Hello? Okay. What's up, guys? Welcome back. Hello, guys. Okay. What's up, guys? Welcome back. I'm determined to make this a useful video, and so I'm just starting over. I am reintroducing myself. Hi, hello, it's a favorites video. You know how these work. It's the end of March 2022, and I have a list of things that I really enjoyed this month, and I would like to share them with you. So let's go ahead and jump in. I do not know if you guys can tell, but I will go ahead and be clear with you. I'm not girl bossing today. I don't have any DayQuil, and so this is just me running on symptoms. Symptoms of what? I don't know anymore. I'm having like cold symptoms and this cough that won't leave, and I'm like, is it a cold? Is it allergies? Is it both? It's not COVID. That's the one thing I do know. All right, where do we want to begin? You know what? I have a whole lot of makeup I want to get into, but if I don't say these first, I'm going to forget about them and or not have the energy to give them the due that they brew. You know that feeling where you're just shopping, right? And you're like, oh, that's really pretty. I should put that on a list somewhere. Add to imaginary fantasy cart, and then think about it and budget for it and all that stuff, and then finally make a decision to treat myself or whatever. And then there's two wolves inside of everyone, right? The other wolf says, girl, that was made for you, buy it. And maybe you don't have that wolf, but I do. And she spoke so loudly when I saw these sunglasses, and I said to myself, you know what? I just have to try them on. Knowing full well that when I tried them on, they were going to look excellent because this is a shape that works on my face, and it makes my eyes look farther apart, which is great. You get a glimpse at what I would look like if I were properly proportioned. When I got them in the mail, I was like, well, darn it, Kackie. Foiled again. I love them. And the reason that it is such a bad decision that I made is because these are so expensive. Now, they're not as expensive as like the Oliver People sunglasses that I swooned after last week on my stories. Some people wrote me and they were like, why are these so great? And I'm like, because they're 800 smackers. Okay, these are not. These were ridiculous, but they're so great. They're like 18 karat gold, I think. They're by the brand Crew. Crew was they had a pop-up on South Congress, and I think I tried on like every pair of glasses that they had. And I realized like they make shapes that work really well on my square face. I don't know what it is about them, but like the glasses that you see Quigley wearing all the time, her actual optical glasses, those are also from Crew. And she has a very similarly shaped face to me. So many glasses are too small for my head, and my head meaning like not here, but like here. So even the ones that everybody loves, that I love, that I have from Warby Parker's glasses, I can't put them like on my head really, because this part of my head is so much wider than everything else. And so when I found a line of sunglasses that it's like, oh, not that I'm gonna do that because there's the little nose thingies and it'll get caught in my hair, but regardless, they're so much more comfortable because they fit my entire head. And so I knew kind of going into buying from this brand, like I knew I wanted a pair, it was just a matter of which pair. And when I saw these, I was like, oh, now we're talking. What? So they're called the Earhart blinkers, and I think this is why they're called blinkers, is because they have like, that's what we call them in the US, or at least certain parts of the US. Your turn signal is called a blinker, and like it's kind of almost like a horse blinder, but it's great for like, you know, filtering the sun, and also for just looking really excessively fashionable. And they come in a bunch of different colors, but there was something about this one, because I have some oyster colored sunglasses. I have some kind of like black and, you know, tan, whatever. I have a lot of things that are like tortoise shell. I wanted something that was like a little much, you know? Just like a little much. And I got them on Shop Bop, which is where I actually got my pair of Lily Sadoogie sunglasses that I love too. I love those, but they're so dark. That was the other thing. I was like never wearing them because they're so dark, and these are at least like a normal amount of tinting. So I love them. I spent way too much money on them, and I'm obsessed with them. And they're actually like the most comfortable sunglasses that I own. I do love my Ray-Bans too. Like I have a couple pairs of Ray-Bans that are also, they're just really well fitted. Anyway, got me some fresh hater blockers. We're gonna talk about makeup now because I have so much makeup this month that I really enjoyed. Anybody feel like February was eternal and this month has been really, really fast? Okay, so first things first, I have to talk about this. I really enjoyed the Hindash Beautopsy palette because I really enjoyed the formula and the practicality of it and how it kind of made me think. But like, this is next level. Monochromance finds its way into just about every look. Like, I lean on the Beautopsy palette when I need a good neutral, something that I can count on that's gonna like be predictably buildable and things like that. But like, this is exciting. This is a fun palette. And I don't even necessarily mean the fun, the jelly bean colors. I'm talking about like, these three, 1, 2, and 4 here are my obsessions. I lean on this one because it looks so like blushy and like rich and gorgeous and dystopian cowgirl fortune teller on me, and it's like such a good base for like a shimmer or something like that, like his Boy Tears or anything else. I am obsessed with Match Made because it's like this perfect like mustard to khaki color, which are the colors that I wear the most. I love and gravitate towards those colors so much, and these are super mucky. They're a little bit weird, you know? I really, really enjoy kind of in-betweeny earth tones that are just like Too Faced brown, you know? And then even this, like, this is not white, it's like very, very, very pale peach. And then that is the niftiest kind of like grayish ever. I'm not saying that this is for everybody, but it is really heckin' for me, okay? I've been really enjoying this palette. If you look at it as 12 shades, I make use of more than half of the palette on practically an everyday basis. If for nothing else than the fact that it is so smoothing. So it's like I get all this texture on my eyes and stuff, and I'm gonna go into Alter over here, and I'm gonna use it to like smooth out my brow bone where I haven't tweezed my eyebrows, recent history, and also to like clean up my inner eye area because it's so freaking finely milled. It makes my skin look like it's never seen a day. It looks like I was just born. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of this, man. He nailed it. I really love this color story. It's just a lot of fun. I do need to do another video where we like play in like one of the jelly bean colors. I don't want it to be the turquoise, but I think Hindash like does not want me to back down from that turquoise. So if that's what has to happen, that might be what has to happen. So y'all let me know. I have so many kind of like sequel videos that I need to make. I want to make a video using one of the other, or maybe one video each for each of the other beauty pie quads that came out because they're gorgeous and I bought those two with my own money. The rose gold one is like off the charts awesome. I want to do like get ready with me's for each of those, and then also the other Byredo palette, which is what I have on my eyes today, with other things, with Hindash, with a couple other things I'm going to be talking about today. But regardless, like, this is why I want to do so many try to get ready with me's all the time. And it seems to be what people like to watch anyway. Like, sometimes I just like to put on makeup and talk to you guys. And I really, like, I have so many eyeshadow palettes that I want to do that with, and that I want to do more looks with, kind of thing. Like, I want to do, like, use the blues in the Gucci palette as a vibe one time. Can you tell? Like, I really do enjoy my job, and that's why I force myself through feeling so crappy like I feel right now to get on camera, is because, like, this is what I genuinely actually want to be doing. I just have a lot of snot between me and the camera. Oh, Kelly Dogley, what's next? Oh yeah, let's talk about those Byredo palettes. I have been enjoying both of these for so many reasons. So I got the Corporate Colors and Disco, and I showed you guys Corporate Colors in the Get Ready With Me, where I kind of debuted Byredo on my channel. Do you know what I sound? I sound like Amanda Seyfried doing Elizabeth Holmes. Just one drop. Anyway, this was the one that I showed you guys, and it looks totally different than you would imagine. And it's really, really interesting. Such a unique color story for 5 shades. Very expensive. But again, I have paid more for less. And especially if you're thinking about like a Tom Ford quad and you're thinking, oh, those textures look so luscious. I bet they are so creamy. They're not. They're very like low pigment and kind of, at least the ones that I have. I have 3 Tom Ford quads, and you just kind of have to like get used to the fact that they're like really low energy. And that's fine, but it's just not what I was expecting. This is more what I was expecting, and this is like the most luxurious, like, indulgent is the word. It's an indulgent formula. Like, you dip your fingers in these and like they're like almost velvet squish, you know? It's like a really, really creamy powder formula. And the mattes are still really manageable and very pretty and everything. There's only one matte out of both of these palettes, but I really enjoy this. It paints a very, very strange story, but you can get some really, really cool looks out of it, mainly because this color is so daggum cool. Like, it's so unique. Look at it. It's like a taupey lavender. Somebody says I call everything lavender. So it's like a taupey, pinky, peachy. I don't know. But it's still like very cool toned. I love that color. So I've been really enjoying this one, and then today I used Disco. Disco, I feel like, is, from a standpoint of like what's on the market and what's been on the market for years and years, a much easier to digest color story, because it's like burgundies, golds, and then like they sort of follow almost like a depth spectrum, with the exception of this one that's like quite warm, which is kind of nice to have something warm when other things are a little bit more neutral, you know? You can play with the shadow and light of it, but they are mostly shimmery, and so I do find that, like, sure, you don't always have to have something matte on your eyes, you know, in order to like balance the look out. Like, there are no rules. There are no rules. But I do find that, like, it's nice that there are some textural differences here. So these two on either end are slightly more matte than this one, which is kind of what I use as my focal point, which is very, I should have done that on the other. Different. It's like this beautiful copper in comparison to that main character shade from Byredo, to me. I mean, Byredo, from Corporate Colors, to me. So I think that, like, the unique appeal of these is that the formulas, again, so luxurious, but I really feel like these formulas would show up on anybody, because they're such intense textures. They're really opaque. There's nothing finicky about them. They commit and they wear all day. That is man, there's nothing worse. I've said this a million times. There's nothing worse than spending a whole bunch of time on an eye look, and then like an hour later, it's all cracked off and everything, which has kind of been what's happening to me lately with other stuff. And these are so not disappointing. It's so nice. Like, I really feel like there are so many brands where you're paying for the name and you're like, yep, the package was nice, the experience was nice, it's a good eyeshadow, but I still don't know why it was that expensive. I am gonna be that person right now and be like, I get why these are so expensive. I know, it's ridiculous, but I also feel like these are special, and like maybe that's not worth is it $70 for each of these, I think. That's probably not worth it to a lot of people, and that's totally fine. But as someone who reviews a lot of makeup and I experience a lot of things that are very expensive that aren't quote unquote worth it, they don't even feel like they're trying to earn my money. Byredo feels like they're trying to earn my money, you know? And I enjoy that. Now, all that to say, that creaminess of that shimmer, pretty darn similar to those quads, those James Malloy quads from Beauty Pie. They aren't as many shades, they aren't all shimmers, but the shimmer shades that are in there have that same rich, rich, rich emollient creaminess that like commits on the skin. So just in case you were curious. Now, I do want to talk about this as kind of an honorable mention, because even though I don't think this is a perfect product, I have been reaching for it nonstop this month. And I think it's like kind of me wanting to get into tan skin, and I always say Patrick Ta understands summer skin. It's just he knows how to make everybody kind of glow. And this palette is very unique. This is his only eyeshadow palette. It's called the Major Dimension eyeshadow palette. I've had this for a little while. I was a little late getting it, but the reason that I keep reaching for it is because of these very rich shades that are, at least by my own, the way I interpret a one and done for myself, which is mainly like a main character energy topper. These are such good, like, one and done, big, luxurious energy kind of textures. And a lot of people have complained, right, that these Celestials are like crumbly and weird, you know? They're not what you would expect. They don't feel particularly user-friendly, maybe is the word, or expensive, but to me it's just a matter of kind of understanding where Patrick Ta is coming from. It's almost halfway in between something like Byredo and something like Rowan, where he's like, I'm asking you to think a little bit differently about the way you interact with my product, so that you can kind of see my vision a little bit more clearly, because there are also some really, really beautiful, very rich kind of like foily satins in here. And I feel like I can so quickly get a really, really intense, gorgeous, glamorous eye look out of this palette that is still at home on my skin because these shades are so skin native. Unless you're super, super, super cool toned, and honestly, I still think that you could get enough saturation out of these that they could just stand alone. It doesn't necessarily have to be something like blends with your skin tone, but I would say like, yeah, obviously that's a warm toned palette across the board, but like, it is such a flexible color story. I really feel like he did such a great job, made a lot of really good choices here. I don't know what these are for. I mean, I get it. I technically know what they're for. I don't use them, but that said, I probably should, because the one thing that I find with this is the wear time's kind of low, and it's because I don't use the primers. So there you go. I just self-owned a little bit, but what I've been doing is applying those kinds of big, glowy, shimmery guys on top of things like Byredo or Hindash, because those are going to increase the wear time. Those are very long wearing. I could probably benefit from just getting my head around the primers. My framing changed because my battery died. Hello. So next I want to talk about the new blushes from Goss. This was kind of a layup for me because I saw them online and I was like, yep, those are made for my skin tone. That is some white girl friendly blush right there. The fact that his initial release had like one, maybe two blushes that I could use. I did buy all of them and I ended up decluttering all of them after getting these because they were just very intensely pigmented, very much like his original Imperial Topaz palette. I'm like, that's great. That's great. I'm glad. You know what I mean? Not everything has to be for me or for me first. So I am really, really psyched that he put these out though, because I really like the formulas and I've always loved also his highlighters. So these are pale, pale, pale and quite nuanced in their difference from one another, because like this one's going to be kind of more rosy even in the highlighter, and this is Desert Blossom, and then this is Sweet Wildflower, which I cannot for the life of me remember like the names of his stuff on its own outside of context unless I'm like reading the back of it, like his blushes, because they all have just kind of very similar nice names to them. And then the shades themselves also have names of their own. So this is Nectar and Petal. So I must say I absolutely adore these and I reach for them all the time. If I had to pick just one, like if you said, you know what, Kackie, I only want to buy one, I'm complected exactly like you. Which one would you choose? I would choose Desert Blossom, the rosier one. Mainly because I think it's even less saturated than this one. This one's a little bit like sandier, but it's also, I could be wrong. They might be equally saturated, but this one's just peacher and this one's a touch kind of like a little bit cooler, you know, a little less yellow in it. And I find that it's just very, very useful. It is the only powder blush that I'm wearing right now. I'm wearing this on top of the Rare Beauty bronzer and the Westman Atelier contour. I think this is the only blush that I'm wearing, and it just gives me something really natural and buildable. And I can still see my freckles through it. It looks really like sun-kissed and not overwhelming, but the beauty of that is that I can apply a lot of it and it's not gonna look unnatural just because it's a really, really nice native color to my skin tone. So, but I do use both. I do. And the highlighters are gorgeous. His highlighters have this amazing, super, super finely milled blur to them. So they're very highlighting. They actually do the job of highlighting. They don't back away from shimmer. Like you could use them as like an eye highlight, but they don't accentuate texture as much as a lot of kind of multi-dimensional highlighters that I've used do. And that's one of his big, you know, passions, is making makeup that works on every skin maturity as well. In fact, I just realized I don't really have an inner corner highlight happening right now, so let's take a little BB brush and do that real quick. And this is so like soft and creamy. It is a powder, but like, you see I dipped my brush in, right, Kackie, right there, and it's still, it like made a little indentation. Indentation. Is indentation a word? Indentation. Indentation might have something to do with typesetting. Look at that. So it's actually light enough that it's a highlight on me, because so much of the time, if it has any pigment to it at all, it's gonna look like an inner corner shadow. That's not what I'm going for most of the time. So you can see it's not giving any chunky glitter particles. It's so freaking smooth. And again, like I was talking about, I was like, I always put the Hindash palette up here because it's gonna like really smooth where I have not tweezed my eyebrows, but like this still doesn't accentuate texture. It's super beautiful, super easy to work with. Can't recommend these formulas highly enough. And you know, he's rounded out what applies to me at this point, but let me know if you are medium to deep in skin tone and you have owned his original colors, if they worked for you. I understand the saturation was really high because they were meant to work on deep skin tones, but like, did the colors work for you? Or were they too like out there? Did you want something a little bit like more muddy or more nuanced? Because a lot of them were like fuchsia, you know? All right, we have a couple of lip products that are not going to surprise anybody. The first one being the Posh Gloss from Victoria Beckham. I mean, this is not a new product, but she did put out new shades, and I happen to really, really enjoy Bikini. It's what I'm wearing right now. It's one of those colors that's a color, but I could also maybe get apply. Would someone please just bring out the hook? Probably get away with applying it without a mirror. It's not that pigmented. I was at dinner in New York City over the weekend with Simbri from Simbri Thinks on Instagram and Kelly Gooch. And at the end of our dinner, we all pulled out our purses and reapplied our lip glosses, and we all just like compared notes as to what we had brought. It was really funny. This was like my only lip gloss that I brought to New York with me because it goes with everything. Like, it's just so easy. And you guys saw me swatch it in the last video against my next favorite. And just showing you guys that, you know, it's not a completely undupable shade, but it is kind of in the family of what makes me very, very happy and comfortable, which is just like these nice, cool, beige, muddy, milky pinks. I enjoy that very much. I really like the formula. It's super nourishing. It's very, very comfortable. It is right in between Glossier and Tower 28 in terms of like gloopiness, syrupiness. I find it to be very, very comfortable, and it's super pretty. And the other lip fave was a very quick fave, and I mean, if you want contextualization, go watch the Gucci video that I just put out, because I cushion my opinion in about 25 different ways on this. But this is the Gucci Sheer Satin Lipstick, I wanna say. It's just the satin lipstick in Lorna Doone, D-U-N-E, and it is the best color of lipstick I've ever found. That does not necessarily mean that I am fully in favor and would choose, if I had the choice, the smell or the taste. But the formula and the color are just so perfect. You know what I haven't swatched this against is Mimi. And Mimi's about the same color as Old Gum. So yeah, this is even beiger than Mimi. I need to do just a full face of like all these beige colors. But like, look how almost gray that is next to Mimi. And that's really saying something. It is so great. G-R-A-Y-T. It's great. Oh, good. I'm losing my grip on reality. This is when the video is gonna get really good. And that is the point when she came unstuck. All right, we're gonna talk about fashion now. Fashion, that's what you wanna hear about from someone who looks and behaves like me today. I want to just basically talk about the entire overarching thesis statement that is Banana Republic. Yes, the name Banana Republic is frankly appalling in 2022. We need to do something about that Banana Republic. And they are kind of branding everything like BR now. I'm like, come on guys, let's just run with BR. But anyway, I had been getting ads from them for a while where they're kind of like channeling this aviation safari kind of thing, which doesn't not give colonizer vibes, but at the same time, it's like its own reference at this point. The materials, the colors, the cuts, and everything, no one is doing that right now. And it's giving like vintage Ralph Lauren to me. And so I bought this really, really beautiful jumpsuit from them. I'm going to take you on a yarn. I bought a really beautiful jumpsuit from them. It was all white. There was absolutely, I had no business buying an all white jumpsuit, but I just had to know. It's kind of like those glasses, you know? And I put it on, and thank God it had too much allowance in the bust. And so I was like, all right, save me some money. And I bought it during their friends and family. So I ended up driving out to the store to return it. Again, knowing myself full well, it's like going to the grocery store on an empty stomach. It's like, I'm going to buy every cheese. You know, I did the return pretty quickly. As soon as I walk in the door, they all tell me how much they love my outfit, which is a flattery will get you everywhere, Banana Republic employees. Basically, I was like, did you guys have some kind of like creative refresh about a year ago? You know, like what, like Banana Republic just became something that I suddenly gave a crap about again. I walked into that store and it's a really, really good one. It's like a freestanding Banana Republic. I went in there like beginning of last spring, like before my own birthday, I think. And they had an entire room dedicated to just like underwear, shapewear, camisoles, all that in a variety of skin tones that looked like a foundation range. I mean, they were so complete. And I was like, looked like walking into Yeezy season 1. I was like, what is this? Like, this is not the Banana Republic I remember. It was beautiful. I was just like, yes, I want to wear all of these skin tone colors. I want to wear all of them. They're so gorgeous and like organic looking. And since then, I feel like they just keep killing it. I never actually like got to the point of the story in this case. And basically their answer was that Banana Republic saw that suiting wasn't going to be as in demand because of the pandemic in 2020. And so they pivoted and they went for this kind of more aspirational leisure aesthetic. And that's kind of what they've been chasing lately. They did bring back a little bit of light suiting, but it's all in like more comfortable materials and stuff. And I just feel like it's done wonders for the brand. They're bringing back like a Ralph Lauren rugby kind of thing right now. They're doing their like sport line, and that's only online as far as I've seen, but literally I go around that store and this past week and I picked up so much stuff, and Morgan is just like loading it into my dressing room for me, and she keeps checking me. She's like, how's it going? I'm like, honestly, too well. It's going too well. It's really like, I am living out all of my dreams right now in lovely materials, beautiful cuts, really great like spontaneous pops of color, just my 35-year-old wardrobe dream. And by the time I left, I said I have to exercise some restraint. I'm going to ask for some gift cards for my birthday, but I ended up buying only one item, and that was the jeans that I'm wearing right now. They are just called the loose jean, and the models are wearing them in various different fits as opposed to like they're probably like waist size. I would say that, you know, the first girl that you see it on here, she's wearing probably a size or 2 up because they look very, very wide leg, and they're not. They're pretty like straight, but that's also jarringly wide for someone who is a millennial and wears a lot of like skinny jeans, you know? But there's something really, really wonderful about the fact, like I put on the next size up and it still looked awesome. It gave me that like early 90s je ne sais quoi of a jean, and the wash is ideal. There's zero stretch. They're a button fly. I'm going to speak in terms I understand. I hope you can follow me on this. Sometimes when you're learning piano music, you can tell especially by like a pop musician, you can tell how classically trained they are by how closely their music follows general piano theory, right? It's like, oh, you understand chord progressions, and that's why you put these notes in that you might not even be able to hear, but to you were thinking of it in a theory first mindset rather than a sound, like playing by ear mindset. And there are people, I believe, who do a really great job designing from a playing by ear, playing by sight, playing by instinct kind of mindset. But then there are also brands, and I'm saying that basically Banana Republic is doing this, that like really, really understand their reference points. They know what they're referring to in history, and they're going back and finding the silhouettes. And I'm talking like all the way back in like, you know, the 20s, but also the early 90s or the late 2000s or whatever. Like all of the silhouettes that they are going for, like they had an idea. They're not throwing darts at the wall like J. Crew is, you know? They're not like, oh my God, is it spring, summer again? Put a ruffle on something. And then they just keep putting everything on sale. You can tell the Banana Republic is confident in what they're doing right now because everything is full price. They've got some stuff on sale that's like, you know, seasons old or totally discontinued and not coming back. But not only are they full price, but they're bringing back repeat silhouettes like this tank top, which has become known in this very, very small circle on my Instagram and my YouTube from last year as the tank top. because it's very affordable. They put it on, it was like $17.50 or something during their friends and family. I have it in green, a light brown, and now I bought 2 white ones. And I'm gonna get into why I didn't buy white ones last year. And I believe Kate, State of Kate has it. I know Lauren from, no, Holy Lauren. Holy Beautiful, Holy Lauren? Oh no. Holy Lauren. Sorry, Lauren. Reagan from Low Beauty has it. We're talking women with very different silhouettes, okay? With bazongas, with no bazongas in my case, and it's so flattering. It's a really, really flattering tank top. And so I bought 2 more this year. The ones that I had from last year have stood the test of time so beautifully. They always look awesome, but here's the thing. I always wore them without a bra. So I'm done talking about Banana Republic now. All hail Banana Republic. The jeans, the tank top, it's all just absolutely perfect, and I'm going to go back in there and spend all of my money, but I don't need to wax poetic about that yet. But I posted on my Instagram. If you don't follow me on Instagram, it's at Hey Kackie, but you don't have to, because I'm gonna tell you right now, I basically was like, I'm done not owning this. These are the things these are the problems that I have in my life. I'm done not owning this tank top in white because I love a good white tank top, but there's never a bra, especially for a small chested girl, but there's never a bra for this cut. You're either working with something that's got convertible straps, which is like the worst, right? Or you're dealing with something that kind of comes out too far and you're kind of trying to hide your straps here, or like you'll be able to see it through the sides. And I'm here to tell you guys, I took a leap of faith on Amazon, and I just basically was just studying all of these different bralettes, because I'll tell you what, when you are not even an A cup, no one can pay me to wear an underwire, okay? I feel like I have been excused from that assignment. I got a buy by not having boobs, and I am not about to pick up extra credit. So I found this bra. It is a Calvin Klein bralette. It's like 40 bucks on Amazon. It's kind of a lot. But when I say I cannot stop wearing this bra, what? Me, the person who keeps quoting that one tweet that said, I don't see bras recovering from this in reference to the pandemic. Like, I didn't see bras coming back from the pandemic. And truth be told, if this is the way that they're coming back, I'm totally fine with it. This thing is so, and I know that these smooth front ones exist in a lot of different places that are like literally just one piece of fabric. It's totally seamless and everything, but those only look good under like a sweater or a t-shirt, not something that kind of has either like high neck or wide neck or like a deep cut or something like that. Like, there are so many bras that I think are gonna work and then they show and everything. And I'm like, well, then what was the point, you know? So this, boom, y'all. That is all your girl needs in terms of nipple coverage, right? I just wanted something that was smooth. It didn't need to be supportive. I mean, it is a little supportive, but it doesn't have an underwire or anything. And I wanted it to be comfortable, and it's so soft, and it's so comfortable, and it's so lighter than air. It's wonderful. My boobs are basically under my arms. Like, they're just, if I lie down flat on my back, I can put my hand flat on my chest. Like, my boobs just are not forward facing. And the fact that this does the right thing on either side of my boobs, like it's actually on my boobs, not where they pretend to be, but it's not showing on the sides, like the straps are close enough together that I'm in no danger, but also seamless, 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 seamless. Like, I have no adjusters showing on the front. There are adjusters up here, like on the very, very back, and I think, yeah, it's kind of at the top of my shoulder. You want an adjustment. But when I tell you guys I forget I'm wearing this bra, it's all I ever wanted in life. Ingrid and I have gotten this deep conversation recently, basically like detailing the woes of trying to wear those little sticky nipple things, because it's like, depending on the weather, depending on the mood that those little sticky nipple things are in today, you know, they are held on by a hope and a prayer. The first time you wear them, they work pretty well, but even the way that you apply them, if you apply them incorrectly, they'll leave this weird kind of funky ripple. And also, I breastfed. My nipples are not aggressive. They're skin tone colored, and so there's only that amount of silicone to kind of camouflage your nipples. So if you're wearing white that's quite thin over one of those things, you can still see the color of your nipple underneath there. They're not a perfect product. They work great for a lot of things, but not everything, and certainly not a white tank top, and certainly not on an everyday basis, and certainly not under conditions where I feel like being comfortable. And this is comfortable. Like, this is wear it all summer. I have absolutely no worries about my undergarment situation, and that is one fewer thing for me to stress out about, and for that I am thankful. So if you are interested in the tank top and you're sitting there going, I don't have the bra for it, I have found the bra for it. And I do have one friend who says that she's got like a full C cup and she wears this bra. So you might not support, you know, like very generous bazongas, but like existent bazongas, I think you can get away with it. I have no idea. I don't have them, so I don't know, but that's just someone else's take that I thought I would offer. Okay, so I have 3 lovely personal life favorites. One, I took a really nice trip to the New York City, to the Big Apple over the weekend, and I got to meet not only Simbri and Kelly Gooch, but also Caroline from Cosmetics by Caroline, and I just had the best time. Caroline and I went to brunch yesterday and we sat outside, where we dodged the snow by mere moments, but we sat outside for a 10 a.m. reservation and we were there till past 2 p.m. just hanging out and talking. She is just lovely. Female friendship is the meaning of life. And every time I've been to New York City recently by myself, I've gotten to meet so many amazing, like meet up with and also meet for the first time so many amazing women, and just the connections, the creativity, the sharing, just the general vibes. It made me so happy. So yeah, that was a really, really just unbelievably lovely trip over the weekend. I will stick all of their handles down below. The second thing is obviously Copper, our new puppy. So he went from baby sweet puppy mode to teething mode. So, I mean, I'm very familiar. I raised my puppy, my last one. I mean, from 14 weeks, he's only 13 weeks now, and we've already had him for a week, and he's 16 pounds, but growing steadily. Got a really, really great bill of health at his first vet appointment and everything. He's doing awesome. He's got his own sweater now because he doesn't have an undercoat, and we got him a new collar. He's just looking very, very smart, even though he's acting very, very silly. And he and Simon are so cute together. Simon is like obsessed with him, and he calls him Woo Woo because that is the sound dogs make. It's working really, really well. I'm very, very happy with that puppy. And I think Mike is too. Like, they're obviously best friends, and that is the cuddliest dog I have ever met. He's so sweet. My husband's biggest fear is that he's just not going to grow. I'm like, no, I did the math. He should be like, at least over 40 pounds, but right now he's such a peanut, and he just seems like he kind of burrows and jumps and stuff like a small dog. And when I say jumps, I don't mean like jumps on you, I mean like dances on his back legs. It's just like, I've never seen a big dog do that. So time will tell. That's why you adopt a mutt, is to just see. But he is so stinking cute. Okay, and then the final thing, and I'm just going to stick in the full video here, basically touring it, but we got a home makeover of our downstairs and our foyer. We got the whole thing painted. We got our cabinets painted in the kitchen. Got a new chandelier in the foyer because the original one was a nightmare. And we got a new runner for the stairs, which is an absolute game changer. I haven't put the art up yet, so I will have another update for you at some point, but I have learned after many years on YouTube, just give the update. If you're like, it's not done, I don't want to show it to you until it's done, like you'll just never show it. I will show you the progress thus far, and just know that there will be future updates when I get some art on the walls and things like that. Okay, and I have 3-ish media favorites. One being the Dropout. I mean, I think everybody's watching the Dropout. It is probably the most universally appealing storyline, right? Right now, because it's kind of a millennial tragedy. It's about Elizabeth Holmes of Theranos, and honestly, I think it's an incredibly sympathetic retelling of her story, where you see the environment that her motivations were steeped in. You see what her personality was like. And yes, she is to blame for many, many things, but also it really does a good job of explaining what the environment in Silicon Valley is like, and even just living in that area, growing up in that area is like, where a ton of money is a lot more normal than it is a lot of other places. The means of getting there has almost been systematized in a way where you're expected to bluff to a large extent, because it's a very male-dominated environment, And it's males telling her to do that, to be like, look, you just need to get the money in your hand so that you can make your dream happen. Oh, by any means necessary situation in terms of doing that if you believe in your dreams enough. And it's like distilled down to so few variables in her eyes and in her mind that she can keep her focus so lasered on it that like very, very large red flags are ignorable to her, because she has been told basically to manifest what she wants by believing in herself so fully. Self-doubt is almost like the kiss of death to her. It's like a bell she can't unring, and so she just doesn't do it. And obviously the series isn't over yet, but Amanda Seyfried is absolutely crushing it. The guy from Lost who plays Sonny, absolutely crushing it. Like, I find him incredibly handsome and I hate him in this show. Like, he's made himself so detestable and gross. I think that the whole thing is cast and acted and written just so beautifully, especially since I couldn't even get through the first episode of Inventing Anna, the show about Anna Delvey that's like reacted, you know what I mean? It's got like actors playing all of them. I couldn't even, it was too cringy. It was like worse than Gossip Girl. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's like unwatchable, but it just wasn't what I was in the mood for. Whereas this show comes out every Thursday and Mike and I are like, you know what I mean? Like we're pumped to watch it every time, and it's on Hulu. So yeah, I really, really am enjoying it. I hope she gets Emmys. I hope they get Emmys. I hope the whole show gets Emmys. And the final two are YouTube creators. I always go on like, you know, everybody does. We go down binges, we go down rabbit holes where we find a creator we like and we watch like everything that they do. So my friend Jordan was texting me and she's like, do you watch X, Y, and Z creators, blah, blah, blah. We both really like commentary channels. I said, I'm on a big Jarvis Johnson kick. I found him through Curtis Connor, and I just think Jarvis Johnson is quite funny, quite adorable. And I think that like, I don't know, just the whole like underlying gamer culture that a lot of them came from like Twitch, I feel like. It just, I like it. I like that kind of, how they're constantly speaking in like gamer lingo. That's easier for me to understand than someone like Mike's Mike, who only talks in memes, because I'm too old for that. And like Mike and I are kind of cross-eyed watching it sometimes. We're like, I don't know anything he just referenced at all. And I understand what Jarvis Johnson is talking about. So he has his channel, Jarvis Johnson, and he also has Jarvis Johnson Gold, which is his premium channel that is free. And I don't really understand why there are two. And then he also has a live channel, and he also has a Twitch. And she's like, well, I mean, then you've probably watched his series with Jordan Adika, right? And I was like, who's Jordan Adika? She's like, first of all, he's beautiful. And I was like, I'm listening. And so apparently like they've been buds for a long time, Jarvis and Jordan Adika, not my friend Jordan, who's a female. And they have like a podcast together and stuff like that, but he's also like a Twitch streamer who just kind of, you know, uploads to, like edits his stuff down and uploads it to YouTube. And they're both so funny. They did this series where they're commenting on a show that was on FX back in like 2006 called Black, White, and it is a trap. It's a trap. It is, if you can believe it, where a white family of three gets painted black and a family of three black people get painted white, and then they go exist in different environments, and then they come back and live in a house together and discuss. And if you're thinking that sounds really uncomfortable, you have no idea, but it is so well commented on. They pause pretty much every like 8 or 9 seconds, every 3 or 4 words with these people, because there's a reason to. The things that they say, I'm sitting there watching it going, oh no. But you're watching 2 black guys watch it going, oh no. It is so uniquely, fantastically uncomfortable. It is so good. I have enjoyed it so much. I think it's only 3 episodes on Jarvis's channel, but I think that Jordan might have uploaded some of the content on his channel. I'm not totally sure. I'm really excited to be just at the tip of the iceberg for both of their channels, because I've watched, like, when I find a creator, I watch everything that they do. You know what I mean? You just kind of like go through their entire catalog, and I feel like there's a lot of content, and I'm like really excited to go through all of it. They also both, they partner up on these videos where they watch Jubilee Odd Man Out videos. I didn't even know what that was until I watched it, but they are also freaking scream. They're so funny because they're both really smart, and they're both really funny, and they're both really fast. Like, I know that if I watched it on their live stream, the quickness wouldn't be there, but like they have it edited down on YouTube for somebody like me who just wants the quickness. And like, oh my God, their senses of humor. I find myself like laughing to the point of tearing up. They're just, it's, oh man, it's so funny. Cause like, I find that so many things are so scripted. These don't feel scripted at all. They are right off the cuff, and I just want to be a fly on the wall. They seem so fun. I want to be their friends. They seem so fun. So yeah, those are the channels that I have been into recently, has been mainly Jarvis Johnson and Jordan Adika. They are so phenomenal on every level. And wow. I need rest. I'm going to drink some chicken broth and put myself to bed, but I really just wanted to get this video filmed for you guys because I like doing this, even if my body disagrees. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to keep hanging out with me on this channel, oh my gosh, I can't get done with this video without blowing my nose again, can I? If you want to keep hanging out with me on this channel, hit the button below, subscribe, I love it if you guys did. Oh, and the next video is going to be my my April Fool's video where I try a bunch of makeup, review a bunch of makeup from brands that I like never buy from. So stay tuned for that. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye! Oh, crap.